Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Intuitive Art Mediums. Thank you so much for joining me for your Taurus New Moon Pick a Card Tarot reading. The Taurus New Moon occurs on Saturday, May 16th at 1:01 p.m. Pacific Time or 4:01 p.m. Eastern Time, so be sure to adjust to your location on the planet. Now, the Taurus new moons, of course, are a great time for beginning new projects, whatever they may be. But with it being in Taurus, Taurus rules the second house. It is ruled by Venus. So beginning any kind of projects that you love, this could be a hobby that you love doing and you want to begin a new project, or business, career, doing something again that you love, that you're drawn to. Taurus does rule the second house of career and stability. It is a fixed earth sign. So it does tend to move slowly. So any magic that you do during Taurus moons, Taurus season, expect things to go slow and careful. We also have this Taurus new moon sextiling Jupiter in Cancer. So this is expansive. Sextiles are a benevolent, positive energy. And we also have Mars in Aries conjuncting with Chiron in Aries. So I feel like that this is asking you to take action, Mars being taking action, Chiron being about your health and well-being. So taking action on self-care. And that can also be part of that self-love. And we also have the Taurus new moon conjuncting with Mercury. Mercury being about messages and communications. So this could be about carefully wording your messages, taking your time in conveying your messages, but even more importantly, taking your time in listening to others. And then the moon is going to enter Gemini at 10:23 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's going to conjunct with Uranus. Now, Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, and Uranus is in Gemini at this time. And that conjunction is going to happen at 9:16 p.m. Pacific time. So again, adjust to your location on the planet. We have these lovely energies that I feel are saying, listening to yourself, listening to your body, taking action on your self-care. Maybe your project is taking care of yourself so that you can be there for others, but also expanding that energy. Okay, so we have 3 piles to choose from. This is pile 1 with the moss agate. This is pile 2 with the Venusianite. And this is pile 3 with the rose quartz. Take your time in choosing your pile. If you're drawn to more than one pile, that's your intuition letting you know that there's a message for you in that pile as well. I do want to mention the oracle decks that I will be using will be Moonology, the Moonology Messages, and the Moonology Manifestations, as well as the Witch's Shadow Work, because this will be a good time to do some shadow work during this new moon, especially before the new moon when we are in the crone moon phase. and then the Dark Moon Oracle. So I will begin with pile 1. There'll be timestamps down below for the other readings, and I will meet you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you were drawn to the moss agate, welcome to your reading. We're going to begin your reading with your 3 Moonology Oracle cards, and then we'll dive in deeper to your reading. So we begin with New Moon in Scorpio, work through your fears. Now, I find this interesting because we just had the Scorpio full moon. Scorpio and Taurus oppose each other. So I feel like that this is important to give yourself 6 months to work on whatever it is that you're working on, because we'll have the new moon in Scorpio in Scorpio season, and that'll be around October, November. Next, we have moonbeams with focus. So here I do feel like that focusing on what it is that you're afraid of can be a way for you to be aware of what your fears are, what they mean, where they came from, so that you can work through those fears or release them, unblock them. Next, we have the last quarter moon in Taurus. How beautiful. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself for the progress that you make. Okay, let's dive deeper into your reading with the tarot, and then we'll draw the other 2 oracle cards after we do the tarot. I am using the tarot of the Moon Garden, and we have for you the Hermit. Okay, shining your light out into the world. This is considered the dark night of the soul, but this is also to help you discover your soul light and letting your soul light be the guidance that you need to be your true self, to learn something about yourself. Next, we have Death. This is a card of transformation. So here we have 2 High Arcana cards of discovering yourself, but also transforming yourself, letting your fears go, realizing what they are so that you can let them go by understanding them. Next, we have the 2 of Staffs. This is getting out of your comfort zone. You've completed one thing, and now you're contemplating, because this is a card of contemplation as well. So you're thinking about what to do next. This is where the focus comes in with the contemplation. Eventually, through contemplating, you're drawn to a place of focus. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knights are instigators of change, and the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving and careful. Now, you do have to be careful of inertia, getting stagnated. And this could be you going back and forth in your fear zone. And that's why it's important for you to work through your fears. It could be you're afraid of success. You're afraid to start something new. Success is built on many failures, and maybe you have experienced many failures, but look at what you can learn from those so that you can move forward. Because with the Knight of Pentacles, he has the seeds to plant in these fields. It's a matter of, where do I want to plant what? And this is a time to, where planning is important, but don't get so caught up in the planning that your plans are no longer flexible. So keep your plans loose and flexible. It'll be much easier for you to work through as you step out of this comfort zone. And sometimes having a really tight plan can hold you back from starting because then you're waiting for the right moment to start. Next, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, I do feel like that doing what you're drawn to, because again, the Knights are instigators of change. And I think what's going to help you make this shift is, what is it that you love to do? And go towards that. And that way, there, it makes it easier to come out of your comfort zone and coming out of this dark night of the soul. And some of you may have experienced career death with this death card. And so it is difficult to come out of your comfort zone. You may feel stuck, but here the Knight of Cups is saying, go towards that which you love to do. What are you drawn to doing? Next, we have the High Priestess, turning into your intuition. So tune into your intuition. Intuition is about feeling your way through decisions, choices. Does this feel right to you? If you're guided by love, by the Knight of Cups, it's going to lead you towards more love. And then we have the Two of Cups, relationships. But this can be about the relationship between your own divine feminine and divine masculine energies, because we have be proud of yourself. And maybe you have a fear to ask for help from someone. And the Two of Cups is saying, and this Knight of Cups is going towards that Two of Cups. So I feel like that you're being drawn to somebody who is willing to help you. And then we have strength. So I do feel like that this could be strong teamwork between you and another, because the Two of Cups does tend to be people with different backgrounds or people with different skill sets that balance each other, and that's what makes the team strong. I do like the High Priestess with the strength, because I do feel like that your intuition is going to be very strong and you're meant to tune into that. And with the Two of Cups, when your masculine and feminine energies are in balance, then your true self grows from that. It's a kind of an androgyny kind of energy. And that can be strong, because here we have a woman and a male lion. So I do feel like that there is that balance between feminine and masculine energy, and also taming those animal instincts to your benefit, refining them, not denying them, but refining them, listening to them, listening to your animal instincts can be very powerful, and it can help you to be stronger. Now, let's get some clarifying cards on here. And I do feel like that you are coming out of this dark night of the soul. You've gone into this dark night of the soul, and maybe you experienced a kind of transformation, a death, letting go of certain things that no longer serve you. And you're emerging gradually, slowly with this Knight of Cups, because he's kind of slow going, and gradually coming out into the light, maybe just coming out into the light, because if you think about planting the seeds, they're in this darkness, and the roots sprout and go deeper into that darkness before they emerge into the light. So maybe one of your fears is being seen coming out into the light. But in order to be successful, you need to be seen. So how can you focus on it? Because we do have these moonbeams, which is illuminating this moon. And it could be your intuition. This is what is evolving coming out of the darkness from here with the Hermit and the Death card. You're emerging out of your comfort zone, and you're really tuning into your intuitive self, and it's something that you love. So maybe that's something to start exploring, is your own intuition, and you discover that your intuition is very powerful. Okay, we begin on the Hermit with the Queen of Swords. Okay, the Queen of Swords is about clarity, but also, how do we get clarity? We clear out that which is blocking our vision, that which is distracting us. The Queen of Swords is about discernment, separation, loss. She is helping you to cut the cords of your fears, of this dark night of the soul, so that your wisdom from that time in the darkness that transformed you becomes more clear. On the Death card, we have the World. That is really nice too, because with death, the world is about recognition, and our world, in a way, is going through massive transformation at this time. There can be a lot of confusion, and some of you may want to kind of just hide away until it passes over, because many of us do feel kind of helpless in the situation, because there isn't really a whole lot that we can do, but we can look at the opportunities that are opening up to us. And yes, our world is transforming, and in many ways, part of it is going through this death transformation. It's going to be reborn. Our planet is going to be here, although the shape of things, the new world order, is going to shift. On the Two of Staffs, we have the Queen of Pentacles. She is about organization, community, and resources. And with it being on the Two of Staffs, I'm seeing this as, look at what resources you have available to you now. How can you utilize that? How can you impact your community? You know, working with a small community can be very helpful, because you're supporting each other in different ways. The Queen of Pentacles is ruled by Capricorn, and the Queen of Swords is ruled by Aquarius. And we do have Aquarius, or we do have Uranus, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius, conjuncting with the moon once it moves into Gemini. So I do feel like that there's that shift when the moon shifts out of Taurus into Gemini. You're going to feel that shift. And with this Queen of Pentacles, I do feel like that you're looking at your resources, and that is helping you. And I do feel like that you want to protect your resources, but look here, he is looking at the world, a globe of the world, and here we have the world card. So what resources from the world that you have, and this can be the whole big world, or it could be your world. What resources do you have now that you can begin something now? Because we do have the Knight of Pentacles. Is there a side hobby that you can turn into a side business? Next, we have the Tower on the Knight of Pentacles. And here I do feel like, the Death card with the World here has given much transformation. The Tower card is knocking you down to your foundations. And I feel like that you've had to reorganize. And with this Knight of Pentacles, with the Tower card, I do feel like that Tower energy is saying, get moving with that Knight of Pentacles. Doing nothing is the enemy. Doing something is better than doing nothing at all. But again, what resources, what can you salvage from the destruction of this tower and reorganize it and repurpose it to something new? And that could be what these four cards are saying, and getting out of your comfort zone. Something has been brought down to the foundations. It's time to reorganize it and do something with the salvage bits. Discard, because we do have the Queen of Swords here. Discard what is no longer salvageable, but you might be able to recycle it. Maybe you have a bunch of broken stones, broken bricks that can actually be utilized into gravel, sand. It can be repurposed somehow. Okay, now with the Knight of Cups, we have the Three of Wands, wanting you to expand on your ideas, because the wands do represent our thoughts and ideas. And the Knight of Cups, expand on what makes you feel good. Expand on what you love to do. On the High Priestess, we have the Ace of Wands. This is beautiful because I feel like when you expand your thoughts and ideas, and remember, we have that Taurus moon sextiling Jupiter, the planet of expansion, in Cancer. Cancer is about our soul tribe, our home, our family, our extended family, family and friends, and maybe expanding yourself, including others. Together, a new idea sparks. It's very intuitive. It's like your intuition lights up with this spark of inspiration. Again, you've expanded, and in that expansion, you see that spark in the center. And that spark is something that you love to do. The Two of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords. Okay, this is about working through your fears. And, even though she's blindfolded, the blindfold over the eyes represent tuning into your intuition, the High Priestess. And, she can either sit there paralyzed, frozen in her fear, or she can reach out, because we do have this little bird sitting on, and it's a blue bird sitting on the sword. And if that bird is singing or making sounds, she can follow that sound, and realize that there are these swords that are surrounding her. And the swords represent our thoughts, our action, and we feel stuck. We feel unable to take action because you need to work through your fears. So you need to tune into yourself, discover your strengths, and realize that all she has to do is reach out to these swords and she can cut the bindings off of her hands and set herself free. And with that being on the Two of Cups, I feel like that there could be some relationship based fears. So maybe work on the relationship that you have with yourself, as we do have Mars in Aries, and Mars is the ruling planet of Aries. So he's very happy and motivated in Aries, and he's conjuncting with Chiron in Aries. So I do feel like that this is a great time to take action on overcoming your fears, being brave, showing courage with this Strength card. And on the Strength card, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this is beautiful as well because this is giving you the chance to be strong, taking the chance to be strong in overcoming your fears, because this is about being proud of yourself. The Queen of Swords is also about focus on what you can do, not so much what others can do, but focus on what you can do, and you start working on your projects. You're going to see what people are going to be drawn to you or curious about what you're doing, and that can help expand those that can help you, as well as you helping them to form a team. And your focus is that you have an idea, a project that you all work towards from different aspects. So you have a team, you're focused on the same goal, but each person on the team has different tasks that they research and get information for, to feed into the main focus, to make that light brighter. Okay, let's get you a Witch's Shadow Work card. I will read the meaning of the card from the book. And we have for you the Misunderstood. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon. Okay, so I do feel like that the Moon is going to be helpful for you to understand what is being misunderstood. Okay, so the Misunderstood asks, do you think certain people don't understand you? Okay, the interpretation. We often misunderstand another person and come to the wrong conclusion about them quickly without taking their background into consideration or getting to know them properly. And we did talk about that in your tarot reading. We make instant judgment about others, and they simultaneously do the same about us. It is the easiest thing to do. This is unfortunate because being misunderstood, especially by an old friend or family member, can make us feel affronted and unseen. Okay, and with the World card here, this is about being recognized. And the Hermit in the Dark Night of the Soul has kind of removed himself from the world. And the Queen of Swords is about separation, loss, sometimes divorce. And we have to kind of go underground into this death. We experience that death to heal and to reorganize what it is that we're going to do next, and then coming out, looking at the world, contemplating on what our next move is. So, misreading another person is a central theme in many fairy tales and myths. Villains are rarely entirely evil, but come with their own backstories. For example, Cinderella's stepmother was a widow raising 3 children on her own. So maybe we should give her a break. Beauty was frightened of the Beast until she understood his true noble qualities, after which she came to love him. And Medusa, that scary snake-headed monster who turned admirers into stone, was justifiably angry, as she had been raped by Poseidon and had her beauty taken from her by Athena in the act of misguided justice. Okay, so your mantra is, the only person I seek validation from is myself. So this helps you, especially in this world of media driven validation, seeking validation from people you don't even know on the internet, on Facebook, on TikTok. Do you validate yourself? And I feel like that speaks to that Eight of Swords on the Two of Cups, being afraid of what others may think of you. Okay, so there will always be things we conceal from others, and no one can ever entirely understand another person. The question to ask yourself is, how important is it to you that certain people get you? Shadow work can help you build a solid sense of self so that the opinion of others is inconsequential. Find the real you. Do you feel misunderstood either by a particular person or by the world in general? If so, which of your characteristics, talents, or behaviors do you wish other people could see? And this is about being seen and tuning into yourself. And this can be self-healing as well. Write a list of them in your shadow journal. Then ask yourself why these traits are hidden by the hermit and the death. Okay, so why are these traits hidden or ignored? Do you lack the confidence to reveal them, or are you embarrassed or afraid to reveal too much? And also keep in mind that some people, as they were growing up, they were shamed and told to hide those aspects of themselves, shamed and guilted in being themselves. So they have suppressed those aspects of themselves, but it's going to leak out. And this is a way to heal that inner child as well. Okay, so now that you think about whether this actually matters, how important are the opinions of others to you, to your self-worth? Can you quantify this importance as a percentage? The answer might surprise you. You would have to be a saint to be completely immune from compliments, approval, and flattery. So don't be too hard on yourself if it's higher than you thought. You are a work in progress after all. I think they meant to put harder in there, not higher. So the answer might surprise you. You would have to be a saint to be completely immune from compliments, approval, and flattery. So don't be too hard on yourself if it's harder than you thought. You are a work in progress after all. Jot down any reflections on what you have learned about yourself from this exercise. So who are you? And keep in mind that we are changing and transitioning, and you've had this dark night of the soul to spend some time alone so that you can clear away what other people think of you, so you can come into who you are, recognize who you are in the world. And that death card is laying to rest the thoughts of other people, what other people have projected on you, telling you who they thought you were, but it doesn't really seem to resonate with who you are. Or maybe you've changed those aspects of yourself. And now you are, with the Two of Staffs, you are emerging out of this comfort zone of other people's judgments. You're reorganizing yourself. Maybe the way that you saw yourself was your title of what you did, what your job was, what your career was, and that could now be gone. It could, your job could have been eliminated and it left you devastated, because that's that Tower card. And with the Knight of Pentacles, you feel like that you have to begin again. This is an opportunity to expand on what you love to do. And that's going to spark some inspiration with this Ace of Swords. And it's going to be very intuitive. Something intuitive within you is going to wake up. It's going to help set yourself free, because now you understand your fears. You're able to work through those fears. And now you're able to focus on your strength and your intuition that comes from yourself, the true self. You have eliminated the toxic projections that were placed on you by other people. And you should be proud of yourself for doing that work. And that's going to give you the strength to try again, to spin that wheel of fortune. And I see this as you taking strong steps forward, because the Wheel of Fortune, you've already been knocked down. You've already gone through this death spiral, and now things are going to start rising back up. Just as you plant your seeds, things go down deeper so they can push forward with greater stability. Okay, let's get a few dark moon oracle cards here for you. This is a new deck that I just got. And we have for you K32 with Bandra Kali. Okay, this is Kali, destruction, chaos. And I do feel like that death is kind of that destruction. We also have the Tower card here as well. So I feel like that things have been chaotically destroyed in your life, and you feel like that you're kind of in this state of chaos. But even in chaos, there is an order. And the Queen of Pentacles is going to help you make sense of that. Next, we have reveal the truth. Okay, here we have focus, being honest with what your fears truly are. And again, here we have the blindfold, tuning into your intuition. We have the High Priestess, and even though she has that blindfold, she can still see that inner light in her third eye. And here we have an arrow above her head. Even though she's blindfolded and she has a book before her, she can still aim her arrows towards her goals. She can visualize that. So reveal the truth. The High Priestess is asking you to reveal your truth, and in that you will be inspired. And finally, we have seek calm. Find your calm spot. That is where you're going to find your strength. And it's like the calm before the storm, I feel like. Here we have this crazy, chaotic energy with Kale. But I feel like Kale is clearing out the judgments, the projections, how other people view you, which has caused you a great deal of confusion. And you're clearing that away, you're destroying it so that you can find your own truth through you're turning inward to discover your own truth. And in that calm, quiet, this could be starting up a meditation practice, finding that calm, doing some breathing exercises to bring you into that calm. And that is where you're going to find your strength to move forward on this wheel of fortune, because you've already experienced this, chaos, this destruction, and the wheel experiences all of those things. And now that you've gone through that, now is the time to begin to rise up towards the light and rediscover who you are at this time and being proud of yourself. So I'm going to end your reading here, pile one. I hope that you found it helpful and inspiring in finding your way through recreating yourself. So until next time, take care and blessed be, my friends. Hello, pile two. If you were drawn to the Venusianite Tower obelisk, welcome to your reading. So we're going to begin your reading with your 3 Moonology Oracle cards, and then we're going to do the tarot and then draw some more Oracle cards. So let's see what you have. We have the Exalted Moon with self-regulation, and here we have the Bull, and I feel like that this is Taurus energy here, and this is the Taurus new moon, so I feel like that you this is the exalted moon, and you're being asked to check in with yourself. Next, we have new moon in Sagittarius. Focus on the positive. So as you are checking in with yourself, focus on the good things. And then we have the full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So as you focus on the positive, it could be that you're going through some challenges. And seeing this bull here, I feel like that, because Taurus rules the second house of career, I feel like that there could be some things going on with work or career, maybe even your finances, because all of those things are tied together. And it's just causing some craziness here for you. But look, you have the rainbow, and I do feel like that there is something positive that comes out of this. So you're being asked to focus on the positive. And with Sagittarius energy here, Sagittarius tends to be this higher learning, but also this very happy-go-lucky kind of energy. And then we have the end of a tough cycle approaches with that full moon in Capricorn. What's interesting is Taurus, Sagittarius, and Capricorn are all powerful money signs, business signs, creative energies. So all of those entwined. And I feel like that if you have been struggling and have been having difficulty in maintaining your own emotional equilibrium, it's time to start focusing on the positive, because this tough cycle is approaching. It might feel like that it's coming to this head, and you're finally able to have that release from not knowing what was going on, what was going to happen. You were kept in this state of suspension. Okay, let's dive deeper into this with the tarot. Using the tarot of the Moon Garden. And we have the Nine of Cups, contentment, happiness. And I do feel like that, you did experience some contentment and happiness. And then we have the Three of Swords. And now you feel like, someone messed up, betrayed the business, betrayed, and it's shifted the way that you can do business. Maybe somebody at work, left you hanging on, and you kind of felt a little bit betrayed. So I do feel like that here you were feeling really good. You were sharing that happy feeling with everybody, and then somebody turns around and stabs you in the heart. Okay, then we have the Eight of Cups. Now's the time to leave the situation. This no longer serves you. And I, because of the career power signs that we have here, I do feel like this reading does have to do with business. And I feel like that, for a while things went really well and you were very content, but then some stuff happened, whatever that is, whether it's, outside energies and or somebody inside or both. It definitely impacted how you're able to regulate yourself. And it could be both, to where it's like, that's why you got deregulated. But then the Eight of Cups is saying, this happened for a reason. Let's focus on the positive. Maybe it was just time to leave that company, leave that business, and look for something else. And then we have the Nine of Cups, doing something that you love. You're walking away from this betrayal towards something that you love to do. So now you're able to, start focusing on the positive here. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, and you feel so much better that you left that place that was causing you to not be regulated. You were on a roller coaster. You were being pulled in too many directions. You were being overburdened with other people's responsibilities. And now I feel like that because you left this situation, you decided to go after something that you love, that you're going to be even more successful. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. I love seeing these two cards together because this is the end of a tough cycle approaches. Not only is the business that you're going into going to uh, be really good for your family, for your legacy, but it's going to be good for you too, where you can now expand, invest in other projects that you love to do. And then we have the Three of Cups. This is definitely something worth celebrating because this tough cycle is coming to an end. And then we have the Knight of Staffs. Synchronicities. Things are going to be just flowing very, very nicely for you. The Knight, all the Knights are instigators of change, and you have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Staves. And this is about love coming in, doing what you love, because you're walking away from this Three of Swords. You were content, but then it's like, this just isn't worth the hassle. I need to get out of here and go towards what I love. And this is the reward. That's the end of the tough cycle approaches, because this is the near future. And it pays off for you. You become like this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow through your work that you do. And it's worth celebrating. And the Knight of Staffs is bringing in synchronicities. This could be new business deals start flowing in now. Let's get some clarifying cards on here for you. This is a really beautiful reading pile too. Because in some ways I feel like that, okay, you left a company that you felt betrayed by and you decide to open up your own company or start your own business, and you become even more successful than the people who betrayed you, who treated you, who didn't appreciate you, and you become so much more successful than you ever could have in this past business, and you're so much happier. Okay, so we have on the Nine of Cups, the Three of Cups. I love it because I feel like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate because I'm leaving this place that treated me like crap. On the Three of Swords, we have the Seven of Swords. This is like, you know what? I'm going to take my skill set and go somewhere else where I'm appreciated. The Seven of Swords is a card of strategy, but it's also some underhandedness. So maybe you decide, I'm just going to pack up my stuff and leave and not tell anybody I quit. And then on the Eight of Cups, we have the Five of Swords. Okay, the Five of Swords can be argumentative people arguing. And the Eight of Cups is like, you know what? I'm leaving that bickering behind. It's none of my business anymore. Because with this Nine of Cups, you know, there is a contentment. And I feel like that you feel contented in leaving and celebrating in that leaving all the bickering, you know, because we have the Eight of Cups, leaving something behind, and you're leaving toxic environment behind. Then we have the Temperance with the Knight of Cups, loving that you have your peace of mind back, because Temperance is this card of alchemy, initiation, cleansing, purification. So you've cleansed that. You give yourself that little bit of time to re-regulate, come back into who you are, coming back into yourself, purifying yourself from this toxicity that you left behind, and finding your peace of mind so you can focus on the positive. On the Two of Pentacles, we have the Emperor. Okay, man of action. He may look like that he's sitting in his throne, resting, but underneath his cape and his tunic, he has his armor. He's ready for action. This is a time of planning, having a really good plan. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Wands. I also want to mention that the Emperor is his own boss. So I feel like that with that Ten of Pentacles, being your own boss is going to bring you so much satisfaction emotionally and financially. And then we have the Eight of Wands on the Nine of Pentacles. The Eight of Wands is directing your energies all in one direction so you hit your target. And I find this to be very good with the Nine of Pentacles because you're not all over the place. You're focusing your energy in this cone of power. For some of you, this could be, I'm sending out my resumes to, you know, these other places and then hearing back from a place that you really like. But I do feel like that this is more of connecting with other people, because this Emperor on the Ten of Pentacles to me really indicates that you become your own boss and you find your success in that. And the Eight of Wands is just sending out letters to people, to your clients or future clients, that, you know what, I'm in business for myself now. I'm no longer with that company. So if you want to join forces with me, here I am. And that also brings you that great success. And the Nine of Pentacles is also a card of self-sufficiency. To me, again, that supports going into business for yourself. This isn't to say that you don't have a business partner, because it's always good to have a good team. And it could be that a few of you, you know, who enjoy each other's company with this Nine of Cups, um, all of you decide to leave and leave that toxicity behind, and you come together and form your own new business. On the Three of Cups, which is celebration, we have the Page of Wands. Okay, the Page of Wands is the adventure. It's like, let's see what's going to happen. This is about synchronicity. The Page of Wands is ruled by Sagittarius. And here we have focus on the positive. Be excited about this new adventure. You have great companions with the Three of Cups. You know them well, and you're on this adventure together. And then on the Knight of Staffs, we have the Ace of Swords. You bring your ideas together to a focus. This is clarity of your goal. This is also a new beginning with a new focus. This is beautiful. Okay, let's get you a grimoire of the shadows. And we have for you Eclipse Right. When light meets shadow, revelation begins. Let endings teach you grace. Every closure opens a new door. I think that is perfect for your reading of what's going on, because it seems like that you're ending something to start something new. And it's something that you love to do. This is the card below the deck, the Cosmic Heart. Love connects all things. Feel the pulse of the universe within you. You are both the heartbeat and the silence. So I feel like that's bringing you into your calm of that self-regulation. Let's get you the Witch's shadow work, because we do have the crone moon, the dark moon, just before we have the new moon. And it's important to observe that darkness. Okay, here we have the misunderstood. Okay, that's interesting, because that was the card that came out in the previous reading. Oh my goodness. It's the same card on the bottom too, the moon. And I shuffled this deck. You saw me shuffle the deck. You saw me cut the deck. And this is crazy. Synchronicity. Both of these cards are the same. So I do feel like that there is something hidden, because the moon does represent things don't always appear as they seem to be. And we can misunderstand that. Okay, so we have the misunderstood asks, do you think certain people don't understand you? The interpretation is we often misunderstand another person and come to wrong conclusions about them quickly without taking their background into consideration or getting to know them properly. We make instant judgments about others, and they simultaneously do the same about us. It is the easiest thing to do. This is unfortunate because being misunderstood, especially by an old friend or family member, can make us feel affronted and unseen. Misreading another person is a central theme in many fairy tales and myths. Villains are rarely entirely evil, but come with their own backstories. For example, Cinderella's stepmother was a widow raising 3 children on her own. So maybe we should give her a break. Beauty was frightened by the Beast until she understood his true noble qualities, after which she came to love him. And Medusa, that scary snake-headed monster who turned admirers into stone, was justifiably angry as she had been raped by Poseidon and had her beauty taken away from her by Athena in an act of misguided justice. Okay, you say the only person I seek validation from is myself. And in today's world of social media, it seems like so many people are seeking validation from people they don't even know. How important is it to you to get that validation from people you don't know? Okay, there will always be things we can conceal from others, and no one can ever entirely understand another person. We might be able to relate to each other, uh, having similar experiences, but we're never going to truly know how that other person feels any more than they're going to truly understand how we feel about certain situations. Okay, the question to ask yourself is how important is it to you that certain people get you? Shadow work can help you build a solid sense of self so that the option of others is inconsequential. Okay, find the real you. Do you feel misunderstood? And this could be, associated how you felt like you're misunderstood at a past workplace or by a past partner. But I feel like this reading has more to do with work than with past people. Of course, we work with certain people. And sometimes you feel like, oh, the boss has sent their flying monkeys at me. And so it can involve other people as well. Okay, do you feel misunderstood either by a particular person or by the world in general? If so, which of your characteristics, talents, or behavior do you wish other people could see? Write a list of them in your shadow journal, then ask yourself why these traits are hidden or ignored. Do you lack the confidence to reveal them? Or are you embarrassed or afraid to reveal too much? Now think about whether this actually matters. How important are the opinions of others to you, to your self-worth? Can you quantify this importance as a percentage? The answer might surprise you. You would have to be a saint to be completely immune from compliments, approval, and flattery. So don't be too hard on yourself. It if it's harder than you thought. You are a work in progress after all. Jot down any reflections of what you have learned about yourself in this exercise. So be kind to yourself, you know, and also writing about your qualities or things that you feel that you need to work on. Do you understand yourself, or are you being what everybody else wants you to be? Because when you are behaving in a way to please everybody else, you kind of lose yourself. And in that is where you might need to self-regulate to come back to who you are. Some of you might also be experiencing an identity crisis, especially if you were attached to your career and that no longer exists for whatever reason. You decide to leave, or maybe your job just no longer exists. But yet you feel relieved. There is this relief because there seems to be this bickering energy of this hierarchy, because the Five of Swords tends to be, I'm the champion and I beat this person and that person. Well, when you're in the position of being the champion all the time, you always have to defend your position. And after a while, that can get tiring, and you might decide, you know what? The next person that comes along that wants this, because I'm tired of this, there are other things that I'd rather be doing than defending my position. I'm just going to let them win so I can walk away and do what I love doing. And you do that. And then again, for those who are striving for that, to be the champion, and you lose, well, you might go off feeling sorry for yourself. Either way, there is some self-regulation, but it's going to teach you where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, what it is you need to focus on to strengthen that, to be more positive. Okay, let's end your reading with the Dark Moon Oracle. I just got this deck, so if a card comes up that I'm not sure of what the meaning is, I will read it from the book for you. And we have for you Matangi, number 27. I will read the meaning of that card from the book. Next, we have Lilith with 26. Well, Lilith is a shadow aspect of ourselves. She can be a little bit of a rebel. And then we have ground yourself. And I like that with the self-regulation, because Taurus is fixed earth. It's about grounding and stability, and also grounding your energies to your manifestations that flow through you. Okay, so let's look up Mantangi first with 27. Okay, her keyword is expression, and Matangi also urges you to listen both to others and to your heart. Communication is key, and if there's been a misunderstanding, it's time to clear the air. Remember, what you think, you will become. So think good things. And that kind of brings me to that Five of Swords here. If you're that person who always has to argue, I gotta win this argument, nobody's gonna want to talk to you if you are a little Miss Know-it-all. Okay, so are you caught in a negative thought pattern and finding it hard to get out? Or perhaps you've been speaking negatively about yourself or others. Mantangi cautions you that the energy you put out in words and thoughts is magnetic, and so comes back to you. If you expect the worst, you will likely attract it. So refocus. Focus on the positive. Whether you're aware of it or not, your current mindset might be steering you away from what you truly want. Think and talk about what you do want, and not about what you fear or what you don't want. This is the golden rule of law of attraction. So additional meanings for the Matangi card is: tell yourself you can't afford negative thoughts. Turn the situation around with your words and mindset. End a tough cycle, or the end of a tough cycle approaches. Think before you reply. The self-regulation and feeling misunderstood. Use your thoughts and words wisely. What you think, you will eventually become. So again, I feel like that here with the Seven of Swords, with the Three of Swords, walking away from that gossipy, backstabbing, betraying kind of energy, and walk away with that with the Eight of Cups, walking away from argumentative people, uh, not getting sucked into their arguments where you yourself become that argumentative person. Okay, then we have Lilith. Okay, aligned with Taurus energy, and this is the Taurus new moon. This card is grounded and determined, but sometimes its fixed nature keeps you stuck in old patterns. Okay, Lilith's energy is here to help you shake off the rigidity that keeps you trapped, whether in relationships, work, or the way you see yourself. And I think that's perfect for this reading. It's time to free yourself from the need to please others, which we did talk about, or meet their expectations. Stand in your power without fear or judgment, while embracing freedom is embracing, remember, hold it, let me start that over. While embracing freedom is essential, remember that it comes with responsibility. Don't go too far, or you might regret it later. Use this energy wisely to transform and step fully into your true untamed self. And this is the grounding yourself. So, additional meanings for this card: refuse to bend to unreasonable demands. Stand up for yourself. Remember, you're as good as they are. Ignore naysayers. Stay focused on the positive. Walk away from argumentative people with that Five of Swords on the Eight of Cups. You don't owe them any kind of response. Just get up and walk away. And if they ask you why you're walking away, you can just say, well, you're being so loud that it's hurting my ears. Or it's like, I don't want to be part of this argument. I don't think that we're on the opposite side of the table. And it seems like that you want to argue rather than focus on, solving the problem. And this isn't about arguing to be right. This is about resolving a situation. So I want to stay focused on the positive. And when you're ready to focus on the positive, we can have a conversation. But right now, you're turning everything into an argument. I know there's a lot of projecting and blame there, but sometimes other people need to be like, you're making me feel uncomfortable with this constant arguing. And a lot of times people who argue, they do get loud. And I know from my own experience that, when people get loud and they talk, or arguing with anger, it hurts my ears and it makes me not want to listen to them. I can't hear what they're saying because I'm so focused on the pain they're causing me with their loudness. So, get up and walk away. You don't necessarily owe them an explanation. Just, get up and leave. If they ask, just say, I don't want to be part of this argument. I thought we were going to try and resolve a situation. But, you know, maybe you need a journal to write down your argument. Okay, anyways, that was my little rant. Okay, so additional meanings for this card. Refuse to bend to unreasonable demands. Stand up for yourself. Remember you're as good as they are. Ignore the naysayers. That's what got me on my little rant. And demolish a tradition if you have to. And again, if something's not working out for you, that's that Eight of Cups. You know, the Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups. The Three of Swords tradition doesn't work for me. So the Seven of Swords is like, I'm going to disarm this situation in the middle of the night and walk away. And, you know, no one's going to be able to fight in the morning. That Five of Swords and Eight of Cups, just, I'm walking away from this negative situation to where you can focus your energy on, I'm coming into a space of love for myself. I'm grounding myself. I'm rebalancing myself and maybe going into business for myself. Okay, and then the last card we have is ground yourself, which is, I think, a perfect way to end this reading. Okay, so when this card comes up, it could also mean you have fixated on something or someone. Ask yourself whether that fixation is stopping you from moving forward. Okay, in a relationship question, there's a strong possibility that someone is being too possessive, and that possessiveness is taking all the air out of the situation. Tune into the earthly energy of this sign and get outside barefoot if possible and just breathe, like this Temperance card here is. Breathe in that love of the Knight of Cups. Let it shift your emotional sense of well being and shift your perspective. Whatever you're going through now, you'll benefit from getting out in nature a little more. So, additional meanings for this card is do some exercise, get a massage, make love, don't be possessive, and quell jealousy. So, you know, and sometimes just doing things that we love, uh, self care, self love, can be taking better care of ourselves, eating foods that make us feel good and healthy, eating healthy foods that make us feel better. So I'm going to end your reading here, pile two. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading resonated. Give me a like or comment down below. Till next time, take care and blessed be my friends. Hello, pile three. If you were drawn to the rose quartz stone, welcome to your reading. We're going to begin your reading with the three Moonology cards, and then we'll dive deeper into your reading with some tarot and more oracle cards. So we start your reading with the new moon in Aries. Go for it. Okay, well, we had the new moon in Aries just last month. So I feel like that this energy from uh, last month in Aries season is carrying over into this Taurus season. And we have moon shining with stay in your integrity. So I feel like that this is encouraging you to stay in your integrity. Go for it. Aries is the first sign of the astrological wheel, and it's about the self. And then we have luck is on your side with new moon in Sagittarius. So I do feel like that if you stay in your integrity and go for it, luck is going to be on your side. So let's dive deeper into this reading with the tarot. I am using Tarot of the Moon Garden for this reading. And we begin with The Fool. Okay, the Fool is the beginning of the High Arcana. This is a happy-go-lucky kind of energy. This is that leap of faith. Go for it. Trust in yourself. Stay in your integrity. Below the Fool, we have the Nine of Cups, contentment. Okay, I do feel like that you're feeling very good about who you are at this time and staying in your integrity, being true to yourself. Next, we have Justice, balance, balancing yourself, balancing your life. Next, we have the Hanged Man, getting a new perspective. So sometimes when we gain new information, a new perspective, we need to rebalance that. And maybe to get that balance, we do have to take on a new perspective. Next, we have the Two of Swords. This is asking you to tune into yourself, into your intuition, to help you make a decision. The Two of Swords can represent indecision, not knowing, should I do this or should I do that? This is asking you to tune into yourself and staying in your integrity. You'll make the correct choice for you. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Keep working on your projects, keep at it, keep doing. Eight of Pentacles is uh, an apprenticeship card. It's a card of practice and improving as you practice. It's also about working on those projects and bringing them together. And it could be like, okay, what part of the project do I work on next? Go with what feels right for you. Stay in your integrity and go for it. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. This is really nice. The dream team makes the dream work. Adding those little extra qualities that make it uniquely yours, but also caring about quality, caring about the integrity. If your name is going on your work with like this Eight of Pentacles, you are working towards mastership, becoming a master at what you want to do. And then we have the King of Pentacles, and you do achieve that. I do feel like that this reading is very business oriented with all these pentacles. The King of Pentacles is ruled by Taurus, and we are in Taurus season. And then look at that, at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Pentacles, a golden opportunity, a lucky opportunity. So go for it. So I feel like that for many of you, you're starting something, that makes you feel good, that contentment. You're beginning something from a place of contentment. Like, I feel good about doing this. How do I go about doing that? Well, you might need to consult with a legal team, make sure that everything is, all the paperwork is as it needs to be, getting a different perspective. Also, this could represent balancing your time and what you're doing, balancing your schedule, getting a perspective on that so that you can take a big project, break it down into smaller tasks so that it's manageable. And maybe that's where that indecision of the Two of Swords comes in, where you really got to tune in to creating a reasonable schedule of what tasks can be accomplished in what amount of time. And then you really get a different perspective or a better perspective on how to balance your time and managing your time. And if you need help with that, I think you're going to find the right people. The King of Pentacles can also be a mentor. The King of Pentacles also likes to invest in the arts and sciences, and he does get payback for those investments, but he's also a very good mentor. So uh, you can learn from his business and how he made his businesses successful, how he manages his time, how he breaks down big projects into smaller projects, maybe delegating certain aspects of those projects to different people on his dream team. Okay, let's get some clarifying cards here for you. Okay, on the Fool, we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, sometimes this can be too many choices to choose from. But again, I feel like you're meant to stay in your integrity and just choose one. Choose a cup, one that you're drawn to. If it calls to you, that's the one you choose. Nine of Cups, we have Two of Cups. I do feel like that if this has to do with any kind of relationships, that this is a relationship where you feel very content in each other's company. I mean, here we have somebody, it looks like they're on the beach and they're just really content in the moment, enjoying each other's company. Being also content with both your feminine and masculine aspects of self. Next, we have the Devil on the Justice card, and immediately the devil is in the details. So the devil is not evil. The devil does represent temptations, and yes, it can represent toxicity, but in this situation, the devil is in the details. I feel like that if you need legal counsel, then you should seek out legal counsel. Whatever kind of professional counsel that you need advice in, you should seek that out because there's going to be things about it that you don't know. And as you get more information, it is going to shift your perspective. With the devil card on the justice and the hangman here, you're meant to go deeper into a situation for deeper understanding. The hangman is hanging upside down. To me, he's like a caterpillar in the cocoon, the chrysalis, going through this transformation to emerge as the butterfly. But in the meantime, he is suspended upside down. I also think of a baby in the gestation. You know, it's about ready to be born, but it's still in the gestation state. So I feel like that if you're choosing a project, you know, you might want to talk it over with your loved ones. Um, Check out the detail. The devil is in the details, and make sure that uh, you're staying in your integrity, but also opening up to shifting your perspective for gaining new information and wisdom. On the hangman, we have the Page of Wands. To me, the Page of Wands is much like the Fool. So I don't think that your enthusiasm is getting deterred by this situation because you're having somebody else that you can trust to look into those details, somebody who has better understanding of those details. Perhaps you are the creative, and you know, legalese is a completely different language to you that you just don't understand. I mean, you want to be a good person. You probably are a good person, and you want to make sure that you're setting up your business, because I do really feel like that this is very business work oriented. If you're signing any contracts with other business, perhaps you're a consultant, make sure that you are on the up and up so that it doesn't come and bite you in the butt later on. Okay, on the Two of Swords, we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, the Five of Pentacles is saying seek out help where you need it. These people, because the Five of Pentacles can feel like you're abandoned, you're left out in the cold. But here there is a pathway that leads to this sanctuary where they can seek comfort from the cold. And I do feel, and they might feel ashamed of, that they don't have their own place. There could be some shame around uh, being poor here with, because they don't have a home, they're abandoned for whatever reason. I mean, who knows? Maybe their home was destroyed, or especially in this snowstorm. Uh, but they are seeking sanctuary. So don't feel ashamed to ask help where you need help. Don't think that you know it all, and don't think that you have to know it all. So to me, that Five of Pentacles is seeking out the help that you need so you're not left out in the cold, so that you don't have to abandon your project or contract. On the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Emperor. Okay, this is a really good card because this is a man of action. He may look like that he's resting, but he's prepared. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of preparing. He's an apprentice. He's perfecting his art, his craftsmanship, and before he takes action to go on his own. On the Three of Pentacles, we have the Judgment card. This is a rebirth. This is a new beginning. And this is almost like getting that second chance. But this time, instead of going it alone, you've pulled together a dream team. You've pulled together people that work together, are able to focus on the task at hand, doing the task that they need to do to bring it together to complete a project. It very well could be that this Eight of Pentacles is just a cog in the wheel, and he's producing a certain part that goes into a bigger project. And I do feel like with this Judgment card, you have learned a lot from your past experiences, for good or bad. And this time, because you have learned, you are seeking the counsel you need, because we do have the Devil with justice. The devil is in the details. So you have somebody go over contracts before you sign them, because there might be something there that you didn't notice before, and it's going to be seen. And maybe with this Judgment card, it's like, we need to make some adjustments in this contract before we move forward on this project, because the Three of Pentacles is also about contracts. Your work, you're being contracted to do your work. On the King of Pentacles, we have the King of Wands. This is really nice, I feel. This is fire and earth. The wands being fire, the pentacles being earth. And to me, the King of Wands is very inspired. He's the idea man. And the King of Pentacles is the one who's able to manifest those ideas. Maybe the King of Wands, he has all these ideas, but he's unsure how to go about in manifesting them. So he teams up with the King of Pentacles, who's very good about manifesting things but not very good at coming up with the ideas. So together they make a wonderful team. And they are players in the Three of Pentacles of the Dream Team. Okay, let's get you a card from the Grimoire of the Shadows Oracle. Okay, we have for you, Bridge Between Worlds. You stand between what was and what will be. Move gently, balancing heart and spirit in unity. I think that is beautiful. It goes very well with your reading. I think you are bridging your experiences from the past to what you want to do now, growing from those experiences and seeking the advice that you need, because the advice that you need to move forward, they're kind of bridging those pieces together for you. At the bottom of the deck, we have Fire Invocation, which I think is very nice since your last card is the King of Fire. Your inner flame is alive and powerful. Let passion move through you. Create boldly and trust in your sacred fire. Stay in your integrity. And look, Aries and Sagittarius are both fire signs. Go for it. Luck is on your side. Okay, and then let's get you a card from your shadow work. We do have a dark moon just before the new moon, and this can help us clear out some of those shadows, some of those things that we aren't necessarily aware of unless we go deep and look at it. And the devil is about doing this shadow work. The hangman is about, you know, going down there to do the work in the unconscious. Okay, so we have for you the Flower Girl. This is very nice. The bottom, we have the mask. You know, what hides behind the mask. And then what emerges, we have the Flower Girl. So let's look at the Flower Girl. I am going to read this from the book. And the Flower Girl asks, do you notice the beauty in every day? We are often too distracted by the business of daily life to notice the beauty that surrounds us. Taking a few moments to stop and observe a flower in bloom can dispel the darkness. However, flowers are not just things of beauty. Their pretty petals attract the pollinators necessary for them to propagate. They are vital players in the interconnectedness of the natural world. So I feel like that this is asking you to be seen in the world if you want to attract clients to your business. So the flowers are also the symbol of the Baldwed, a goddess who features in the Welsh legends of the Mabon. Anyways, she is considered by some to be the Welsh goddess of spring, and we are in the spring season, and represents the resilience of flowers that bloom again after a cold and barren winter. Uh, The Blauwad was created by the magicians Math and Gwydion from 9 flowers. And we do have the 9 of Cups here. Okay, so including oak, meadowsweet, primroses, and broom as a bride. And for the cursed Lou, and we can think of that as Lucifer, the devil card, who could not marry a mortal woman. However, once married, she fell in love with another man, the warrior. Uh, I can't pronounce his name. And together they killed Lou so they could be together. On his death, Lou turned into an eagle, and after Blauduad and Groan had a short period of bliss together, he murdered Groan. Gwydion then turned her into an owl, and she was never able to show her face in daylight again. Okay, it kind of reminds me of that story of the owl and the wolf, or the falcon and the bird, where the bird could be uh, human at nighttime, while the other mate was an animal at daytime. And then during the twilight times, at dawn and dusk, was the only time that they were both in their human form for a moment, and they could see each other in that moment before the partner turned into the creature of the night and the other creature into their human form. So that's what that story kind of reminds me. And there are many stories that, and many different myths that are like that. So I do feel like that the flowers, like, because there are some flowers that open during the day and they close at nighttime, to where there are other flowers that open at nighttime and close during the day, to coexist with the particular pollinator that they coexist with. For example, the night blooming jasmine, opens up at nighttime and invites the sphinx butterfly, or the sphinx moth, other words known as the hummingbird moth, and they go around to the night blooming flowers. And during the day, other flowers open up to the hummingbirds, the bees, and butterflies, and then they close up at nighttime. And there have been times where I have seen bees that get captured um, within the flower overnight, and then when they open up in the morning, that insect is able to then escape the flower. So, anyways, your mantra is, like a flower unfurling its petals in the sun, I am open and present. Okay, so study a flower. Go into your garden or out for a walk and find a flower that aspects to you, or a leaf or a cluster of berries if it's winter and there are no flowers in bloom. If possible, sit, admire it from where you find it, or alternatively, take close-up photos if you can study at home instead. Only gather fallen flowers, leaves, or berries. Avoid picking anything unless it's from your own garden or you have permission. And sometimes you need to ask the plant for its permission. Now examine your chosen flower closely. Notice its shape, color, scent, and any patterns on the petals or leaves. Bring your attention to where the petals meet the stem, or where the stamens rise from its base. Take your observations further by identifying the flower and learning its Latin name. Next, draw or paint or write a few lines of description to try and capture its essence and loveliness. If you have a physical specimen, put it in a vase or press it to remind you of the beauty that always exists in the world, waiting to be noticed no matter how dark or ugly things appear. Okay, let's get you your dark moon cards to conclude your reading. You may want to study different kinds of flowers and maybe decide which flowers you want to grow. What flowers are going to be helpful to your garden? Okay, so we have number 12 with illusion. Next, we have this one flipped out. Next, we have seek calm. And then we have scattered. Okay, so you might feel a little bit scattered. And this was actually the card that was on top of the seek calm. So I'm going to put it like that because I feel like when you're scattered, it's the time to seek calm. Okay, so the illusion with number 12. This could be throwing someone a lifeline. Don't be a martyr. Write down your dreams this week. Talk to a brutally honest friend and be compassionate. So the this most often happens when you're depending on someone else to make your dreams come true. I feel like that's that Two of Swords. You know, seeking out help. If that person doesn't share your desires to consecrate, you need to respect their choices. So don't believe in your dreams, but don't kid yourself. So do believe in your dreams, but don't kid yourself. If somebody doesn't want to help you, then you need to figure something out or seek other people. If you were to ask the people who care about you what they think about your most pressing issue, would they say you're on the right track or perhaps you need to change your thinking? To me, that's that Justice and Hangman getting a different perspective. And even with that Devil card there, uh, doing some shadow work. Um, Here's the thing, while it's crucial to believe in your dreams before they manifest, there's also a line we can step over that takes us from thinking positively and expecting good things. To refuse to face the truth of a situation we can't change. And that can be where you get scattered because you believe that everything's going to be okay and work out just fine. And you just kind of go on your happy go lucky. And then when it doesn't, it shatters your world and it scatters your energies. And sometimes you can't always put those pieces together. So the scattered card represents the energy of the dark moon in Gemini. And this is Taurus season right now. So the Gemini new moon will occur in 28 days from the Taurus new moon. So your biggest enemy now is being scattered, wishy-washy, and overly changeable. Your thoughts are like pages blowing around in the wind as you fight to stay grounded amid chaotic energy. Have you been flip-flopping around about what you want? No one is saying you have to be strict and stern with yourself or mentally inflexible, but you do need to take some time to get clear about what you actually want. What are your current goals and what do you have to do to achieve them? I feel like that's that Seven of Cups here. You have too many choices and you don't know what to choose. And then we have this Five of Pentacles with, well, you choose for me. Well, that's not taking responsibility for your choice. And that's on the Two of Swords, where you are being asked to take responsibility for your choice, regardless if it works out or not. Because if you let somebody else make that choice for you and it doesn't work out, Well, you're blaming the other person because it didn't work out. You're not taking responsibility for your actions. So what are your current goals? What do you have to do to achieve them? This Use this card as a sign to literally pick up a pen and write them down. Doing so will help you to shift your mindset, which is what you need to do right now to get what you want. To me, this is that hangman energy, getting that different perspective. The Page of Wands, your thoughts and ideas. Write down your thoughts and ideas. Okay, so imagine you're the smartest person you know. What would your next move be as you inch towards your dreams? Well, again, you may want to seek out proper counsel, proper advisors. The person who makes the decisions, that person surrounds themselves with intelligent people on their team who specialize in their expertise, and they bring to you the information from this aspect. The other person brings information from that aspect. This is the Three of Pentacles. You are getting, you have three people on your team, and you are getting the information you need to make an informed decision. Maybe you need a financial advisor. Maybe you need a lawyer to give you legal advice to make sure that you are doing things within your integrity. Okay, so again, if you need to talk things through with someone, this card is assigned to do it sooner rather than later. Once you've had the conversation or even exchange of messages, you'll have a better idea of where you stand and thus what to do next. So, other suggestions of the scattered card here is create a wish list or vision board. Listen to what others are saying. Research whatever you're wrestling with. Communicate. Recognize that a sound mind leads to a sound body and vice versa. Okay, and then we have the seek calm. So, don't get, you want to be calm. It's much easier to talk to a calm person, to communicate with a calm person. Even when things get really exciting, remain calm, because then it'll be easier for that communication to flow. So the Seek Calm card represents the energy of the dark moon in Scorpio, ahead of the new moon in Scorpio. While winds may be spiraling in the distance, clarity and calm lie ahead. If you've been obsessing over someone or something, this card is here to shake you up a little. It's just not healthy to allow yourself to spiral into overfeeling, negativity, or any other sort of emotion state that doesn't serve you. Practicing meditations will help you work through this. If your mind is troubled now, don't indulge yourself too much. Of course, you feel your feelings and process your thoughts, but don't allow them to rule you. It's time for you to be more mindful. If you're being driven by your desires, which can be that devil card, or your fears, desires and fears can, tempt us. This card is a wake-up call to stop that. If you want to evolve, you need to get a greater understanding of your thought patterns and when they're not helpful. Maybe you're giving yourself or someone else too hard of a time. As soon as you start to become more aware of your thoughts and your emotions, your biggest issue is going to start to dissolve. No one should pretend everything is okay when it's not. But don't act like things are worse than they are. Staying in your integrity. Go for it. Luck is on your side, but don't expect luck to carry you through without taking proper action. So meditate every day, identify and work on toxic traits, let your feelings be your guide, think before you speak, seek self-awareness. And I really like that you have these two kings, the King of Wands, who can be overwhelmed with his passions, but the King of Pentacles, who grounds those passions into manifestations. So I'm going to end your reading here, pile 3. I hope you found it helpful and inspiring. And until next time, take care and blessed be, my friends.